So you may have seen a recent video linked in a pinned comment of this video where we talked about and talked to Officer Shadrach King with the Orange City Police Department of Florida. We talked about how over the past couple of years he has come forward to his administration and spoken up about misconduct by fellow cops, both times leading to the termination and arrest of both officers. In that video, we showed you proof, including King's own words to his own chief, Chief Wayne Miller, that instead of thanks, appreciation, praise, recognition, or anything positive for coming forward, instead, he sees retaliation and feels as though he's been shunned by his administration. If you've not seen that video, make sure you do because it's insane and very, very telling. But last year, we covered a similar story at a nearby department, the DeLand Police Department. An officer there, Corporal Spires, also came forward to his administration about misconduct against another officer that led to his termination. From that point on, I uncovered many examples that appear to be retaliation against Spires. And I've been getting similar vibes about King with the Orange City Police Department. And I'm going to give you another example of what appears to be another possible shunning of King by his department. Something that I just happened to notice and looked into. I don't even know that King himself knows about this yet. So I'm going to show this to you. You'll see what I found, see what you think. And at the end of this video, I'm going to answer some of your questions and some of your comments that you had, many of you had, about that previous video, and give some of you the answers to some of the things you've asked. Going forward from this point, for reference, the term FTO, if you're not familiar, means Field Training Officer. Certain officers at departments go to special classes to be certified to train new officers. So when a new cop starts, he gets assigned to an FTO, and that's who conducts the training. So they're not thrown with just any random cop, but rather a cop who's been certified to train. Right. You'll see why and you'll see where I'm going with this, but I submitted a request to the department for a list of all of their current certified field training officers. I requested before the list of FTOs, certified field training officers. I got that. Okay. I did get it. I just want to clarify, is Shadrach King, is he not a certified FTO?
Well, none of them are certified. They've gone, they go through classes and get a certificate, but.
Right, a certification.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
If he wasn't on the list, then no.
Okay. I thought he was. That's why I was, when I saw the list, there was a couple that I thought were, and they were on there, but he wasn't, and I thought that he was. He's still employed here, right? Okay. So this is the list of certified field training officers that they gave me. And yes, that certificate that they get when they finish the course makes them certified, as we just cleared up. And Officer King is not on that list. Now, I only requested their list of field training officers because I happen to know that Officer King is in fact a certified field training officer. And I wasn't expecting him to be excluded from that list. And I don't know if it's coincidence or if it's because they knew where I was going with this. Well, you might be asking, where the hell are you going with this? Because you're telling us you're asking for records and asking questions you already know the answers to. Well, I'm going to show you what piqued my interest. And like I said, this began in my mind because I already started to sense a shunning towards King, perhaps from his administration, based on his doing the right thing. This is a day several weeks ago where I stopped just to get some B-roll footage of this vehicle, which is operated by Officer Litke, who's fairly new-ish at least, and I noticed he's got one of their new trainees with him. I thought that was strange because a trainee is usually with another officer who's an FTO on the shift. But Officer King is also on this shift. Like I said, he's an FTO. And I thought, wow, maybe Litke's an FTO now. They got a whole shift full of FTOs. If that's the case, well, I didn't know that. I've been looking for that. You're FTO? You're FTO now?
Not really, filling in for today.
Oh, yeah, they don't have an FTO?
Somebody's out sick.
I thought you were FTO. How long? You've been here, what, 2 years now?
3 years.
3 years.
Next week.
What was your name? Did I meet you at the PD?
Romanowitz, we did, yeah, briefly.
Well, okay, yeah. Officer Litke just cleared it up for us. New Officer Romano's trainer is out sick today, and Litke confirms he is not a certified training officer. But since a training officer isn't available, he's filling in. But there is, as we know, a training officer available on this shift. And all of this is just my thoughts based on my observations and some facts. But with everything else, and like they like to say, the totality of the circumstances, it kind of seems like the certified trainer that's available practices a bit too much of the right thing, and we can't have that passed down to the new guys now, can we? I had another question I wanted to ask. When it comes to field training with the department, if they have a new trainee and they come onto a shift, I don't know, let's just say they come onto whatever shift, will they go, and they have to be with an FTO, they're not released on their own, would they go to, are they required to go to a certified FTO? They're not.
No. But if it's just like a day,
Yeah.
no.
Is it preferred they go to an FTO?
Well, I mean, depends on if there's somebody working, yeah.
Yeah.
It probably would, but.
So that was the accurate and logical answer. If there's no trainer available and it's just like a day, all right, no big deal. But they should go to someone certified to train if there's someone available. Well, King seemed available that day. He is certified. So, that's weird. I'm going to whisper it real quick. The door is closed. Is Miller here by chance?
Closed door.
Closed door. Is the chief available? How come?
He's going to a meeting.
I thought you were going to say the door is closed. No, the door is always closed. I know. And that's not, I know the door is always closed for me. I get that. I understand. But I wanted to ask him, that email that I got, I know we're not going to have a discussion about it, but that email I got is public records. To me, and to a lot of people, I think that's a concerning email. And I just want to ask him why he wouldn't respond to something like that. Concerns of one of his officers facing retaliation for doing the right thing, or feels like they're facing retaliation for doing the right thing. That sounds disturbing to me and a lot of people. And I just want to ask him why he wouldn't. I know he's not going to answer me. Maybe I'd be wrong and he'd be great. Maybe he has some explanation or something, but my opinion, that's a super disturbing. That email that he sent, holy crap. I know you read it. You gave me the public record. We're not going to talk about it, like I said. But that's concerning for someone to feel like they're getting treated like that for doing the right thing. And I would just like to hear from him. So could I put in a public record request for a comment from the chief?
Really a public record request?
Yeah, it's not, and I get it, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but he doesn't answer emails. If I catch him outside,
catch me outside, how about that?
He pretends to be on the phone. So I'm just thinking of other ways to reach him. That's all.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all just coincidence, right? Maybe what we've seen in this officer's own words in an email to his own chief about his feeling of being retaliated against and shunned by his administration, his department, after whistleblowing more than once. Maybe it's all just coincidence. Maybe this example of shunning is another coincidence. Maybe they just overlooked that he's certified to train. And it's a very minor, petty detail. And if it were me, I'd rather not train anyway. But it's the point, it's the principle. If it's preferable that a rookie officer in training is with a training officer and there's one available, why would they go right past that person and put him with somebody else? Maybe it's more coincidence that he was left off that list. But I have no choice but to entertain the possibility that because I had encountered Litke and asked him if he was a field training officer, and he confirmed that he was not, and I was asking questions and hinting around that there was no training officer available, maybe they hoped that I wouldn't find out King is certified, and I and the public would just say, oh, look at that, nobody was available. Move along, folks, nothing to see here. Maybe. And like I said, this is a minor, petty thing. This is one thing. But like I said, a police term you will hear often, you got to look at the totality of the circumstances. And how does that saying go? If it acts like a duck and looks like a cat, smells like an elephant, it's probably a mouse. I don't know, something like that. Officer King, what's going on, man?
Not much, how are you?
All right. I don't mean to be a pain in your ass. I was looking for you today. I was trying to find you, and I was on my way home. I had given up for the day. Stopped for gas, and sure enough, here you are.
Here I am.
I wanted to ask you something that I didn't have a chance, or I didn't think to ask you before. at some point in the past, I don't remember when, I believe we talked about you're a certified field training officer, right?
I am.
You are, okay. And I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive, I'm not certain, but I think somewhere I even have your certificate.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
So I went, I told you before that I feel like I get the impression that you may be seeing some retaliation. Those are my thoughts. And then I pulled some public records and I got an email, obviously, and it seemed like that might be your thoughts as well.
Okay, that's fair.
But I had noticed something one day. I stopped to get B-roll. It was Officer Litke.
Okay, yeah.
And I just got B-roll of the car with the lights on, whatever. And he had a trainee with him. I had seen you earlier in that day, so you were working too.
Yeah.
And I saw Litke and he had a trainee with him, and I didn't think he was an FTO. But I said, oh, hey, what's up, man? You're an FTO now? He said, no, he's not an FTO, but someone called out sick, and there was nobody available. I said, oh, there's no FTO available? Nope, nobody available. I thought that was odd because I had the knowledge that you were an FTO and you were on that ship.
Got it.
So to me, it could be anything. Maybe they said, hey, do you want to train a new guy today? And you said, hell no, I don't want to train a new guy today.
Right.
Or it might be that they overlooked you. And if they overlooked you, why would they overlook you? Instead of giving the trainee to someone who is certified to train a new officer, give them to someone who is not. So then I went to the department and I asked them in form of public records for a list of all of their certified field training officers.
Okay.
First, I was told that none of them are certified. They just go to a class and get a certification.
That makes them certified.
That does in fact make them certified. Yeah. That's where, yeah, so we cleared that up right there. So I got that response back, and I got a list of all of the certified field training officers for the Orange City Police Department.
Okay.
There is one name that's not on that list.
Let me guess. Me.
Shadrach King was not on that list.
Okay.
And I found that super odd. Now, I don't know if, these are just my own opinions, and I'm just talking right now. You don't have to entertain me. You don't have to share your thoughts or anything. My thinking was, why would they leave him off that list? There's a couple possibilities. I believe it's been at least a couple years since I knew that you were certified. So it's not like it's brand new.
Correct.
It's not like they didn't know.
Correct.
And I know they have a copy of your certification. So the department is definitely aware that you are certified, but they're telling the public that you're not. So then I asked in person if you were an FTO, and I was told no, you're not an FTO.
Okay.
All the FTOs are on that list, and I know otherwise. So that kind of, where I was going to go with that went out the window because they just completely excluded you. So then I asked, no one will ever talk to me there, so I have to talk to Heather at the front desk, because if I ask for administration, my answer is always the door is closed.
Or they're in a meeting. Yeah.
And when I catch them in person, no joke, they put the phones to the head and pretend they're on the phone. It's the funniest damn thing. So they'll just ignore me and pretend they're on the phone.
Yeah.
So I have to ask her, and I asked her, hey, if nobody's available, let's say the FTO calls out, or however I worded it, does a trainee have to be with an FTO? She said if it's just a day or something, no, they don't have to be, which I agree.
Yeah.
But is it preferred? And she agreed that yes, if there's an FTO available, obviously they want to go with the FTO, which is what I thought. So, I don't know if someone has ever come to you in recent history and said, hey, do you want to train? And you said, hell no, not today. Or you were just overlooked. But I kind of get the impression you were overlooked because you're left off the list as well. So I just thought you should know that.
Well, I appreciate it.
I don't know if you know that they're excluding you from things, but...
I can't say that I'm shocked, but I appreciate you actually telling me.
Yeah. Honestly, after reading your email that you sent to the chief and everything else, things that I've seen, there are some people in your department that tell me you are being shunned, you are being retaliated against. Members of your department are telling me that. My opinion is they're doing you dirty. That might be your opinion too. I know you don't have to share it, but you've got that information. So yeah, if you want to ask them for a list of the certified field training officers at the department,
I might do that. Okay.
You might be surprised to see the response. unless I put a video out ahead of time, that might suddenly make you appear on that list. I don't know. I have a sneaking suspicion that might make you appear on that list.
You're correct, actually.
I see one thing, then I do a video, and suddenly everything changes.
Everything changes.
So anyway, I'll get out of your hair. I don't want to keep bothering you, but I wanted to let you know that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man, and good luck. Good luck dealing with them.
Thanks. Thank you.
You might need it. Now, after that video where we showed you the email and the retaliation and all that, there was a lot of comments, and many of you emailed me also. There was a lot of praise to Officer King for blowing the whistle on 2 officers whose misconduct he became aware of. Some of you even said that you wrote commendations for him, and then others of you asked how you could do that. Now, it is a shame that so many people see a cop do the right thing, and we're like, oh, we got to give praise, because that should just be expected. But unfortunately, we know the reality. So when people do see it, they feel like they should give that praise. And I'll say that that type of stuff does need to be encouraged. There needs to be more encouragement than there is fear of retaliation. And we're going to come here and try to answer some of your questions in reference to that video. Ah, son of a bitch, that door. You got like an attack door there set up to hit me in the ass when I come in. I put out a video in reference to some things, in reference to some public records that I've gotten.
Right.
People want to know, I'm getting comments, I'm getting emails. People want to know if they wanted to send a commendation for an officer here, how could they do that? Like if they can't walk in here and do it.
You can email it.
They can email it? Who would they email it to?
I'd say probably if you emailed it to record at orangecityfl.gov, it would we could get it to the right person.
Is it record or records?
Record.
Record, singular.
Singular.
Okay. The contact, I'm pretty sure I know what the email is, but if they want to contact an officer, like, for example, if they wanted to email Officer King, it's sking@orangecityfl.gov, right?
You would be correct.
I appreciate it. I just wanted to answer those questions.
All right.
Record@orangecityfl.gov.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
To be clear, I'm not asking anyone to send a commendation for Officer King or anybody. I'm not asking you to contact anybody. Several of you have asked me how to do these things, how to contact some people, and now you know. I would be curious if any of these commendations that people say they want to write, or the ones that people said they have written, I'd love to see if they actually end up in his file like they should. So again, no obligation, and I'm not saying I think you should or you shouldn't. But those of you who decide you do want to, leave a comment in this video and say that you've done it. It would be interesting to compare the results of those comments and what actually ends up in his file. But whether you write any commendations, any emails, hell, you can write complaints if you want to. That's your right. Either way, it's up to you. Check out the description of this or any video for some thoughts and suggestions for those of you who do wish to reach out, contact people, redress your grievances, whatever it might be. But also share your thoughts on what you think we're seeing here. Is this another example of retaliation, a shunning, and how far will it go?